All right, good morning, everybody. It's KB5MIQ, Big Boy. I thought I'd make a quick video here and try to cover one suggestion I got on some things, but we're going to cover something first. One of the hazards, I guess, of trying to do social media and YouTube videos is sometimes you're going to have people comment that either don't believe what you're saying or make comments that you're really kind of indirectly running you down or whatever. Hey, I got thick skin, don't bother me a bit. Everybody's right to opinion, doesn't bother me a bit. But I thought I would clarify a couple things. And I think I've covered this in one of my earlier videos, but I'm going to do a quick recap of it again. Somebody commented that wasn't sure that I was actually an extra class ham because I commented like a novice with just listening to a general receiver. So anyway, here is my novice ticket dated 4/17 of 1990. I know that's reversed, you can't see it, but you ought to be able to tell by the age of it, it's an old ticket. Where I got my very first ham license, April 17th of 1990. On June the 5th of 1990, I upgraded to technician class. That's my technician class ticket, 1990. In 3/10 of 2000, when I renewed my license, and AFCC had already changed them to Tech Plus, there's my Tech Plus ticket. All right. Okay. Here's where I upgraded to General on March 8th of 2007, my General ticket. Here's where I upgraded to Amateur Extra May the 1st of 2007. These are just renewals, my latest renewal, and I just printed off from the Universal Licensing System my official copy of my extra class ticket, which expires in June 5th of 2030. All right. So I am a licensed extra class ham. I may not cover things like a lot of hams do, and in a lot of ways I still enjoy the novice portions of the band, especially 10 meters. I'll recap my radio experience right quick. My on the air experience started as a teenager on CBs in the 70s. I joined a reserve infantry unit in 1980, where I became well versed in Army ground FM tactical communications. I was a volunteer fireman who handled most of their communications at the time I was on the department from 1985 to 1977, which I did a lot of public service work. Transferred to the Air Force Reserve in 1992, and about 2 years after I got in there, they found out I was a ham and got tasked with their single sideband radio communications and their FM tactical ground communications until my retirement in 2003. Statements I make on my videos, I thought I was making it clear that it was just my way of doing things. I'm not saying you have to do it that way or it has to be done that way. I try to show that there's a way to do this hobby on a budget because me and a couple of friends of mine that get on our 10-meter roundtable at night talk about the fact that a lot of hams are being told that unless you're spending tons of money, you shouldn't be in the hobby. That's farthest from the truth, and I try to show that you can make contacts on minimum amount of budget. Now, some people are not going to like my stuff, and that's fine. That's fine. I'm not upset about that at all. But I just thought I'd clarify a couple of things. I am an extra class. I could have upgraded back in '92 when I went to the doctor and found out my hearing was shot because the doctor's exact words was, because it was a military doctor, when I done my hearing test, he had no idea I was a ham radio operator because I'd never had put it in my Army records. And again, this was in one of my earlier videos. I'm repeating myself. I sat down with him. He goes, "Well, young man, Sergeant," he said, "it's a good thing you're not in the old school single core trying to do Morse code, because, son, you can't hear it. You can't hear it when it stops. If it gets over about 8, 9 words a minute, would never hear it." And just so happened, I had been working on my general class speed, code speed at that time, and never got over 7 words a minute. Just couldn't get any faster than that. So, and at the time, ham radio said if you had a hearing loss and you could prove it, you could upgrade. Well, I knew that wouldn't fly in those days, so I didn't do it. Life happened, kids happened, divorces happened, military service happened. I've always tried to keep my hand in this hobby. I'm retired now. I'm trying to get back in it more than I was, but it's never been something I've done every day. I try to do it now on a daily to weekly basis at least. We do our roundtable discussion at night. And if you hear us on 28,450 at night, please check in with us. We love to have people. That's the reason we do it. You know, we all talk to one another all the time. We'd like to have other people check in. So if you hear us and the band's open, please interrupt and check in. We urge you to do that. But am I a super ham where I'm on it all the time and got the high dollar array and the amp? No, I'm not. One other comment was I did not showing people how to break pileups and make hard to get contacts. Well, I've discussed that on other videos. I'll give you, for instance, the other day I was trying to work Scotland, I believe on 17, maybe 10, I believe 17. I can't remember, I'd have to look at my logbook. Pile up on the guy. And I got the listing, and that's one thing I always do. Sometimes you can tell who they're going to take if you listen to 3 or 4 sets of people hollering at them. And it seemed like this guy was trying to take the last person he heard. Of course, there was 2 guys in the States that were running, I don't know how much power, but they were booming over everybody else. He wouldn't take their call for a long time. I was on there about 15 minutes, and he finally took both of their calls, and they went away, and then I was able to make the contact. Will the amp have helped me? I don't know. I know I get walked over people on amp on hard to get contact, but I'm still not going to run amp. I'd rather spend the money on better antennas. But I enjoy running barefoot. I enjoy working, building my own antennas. HKV and myself built antennas. He got me into this. He's helped me build antennas. We built the 4-element Yagi 2-meter beam years ago. It worked great. I used it for years. Built that little TV antenna. I used it for years till the wind blew it down. So, enough about that. I appreciate the comments. Anybody's comment. If you don't like what I say, you're not going to make me mad. I'll try to respond with a dignified manner about it, and hopefully I can answer your questions if you think I'm saying something wrong. So please respond to it. Now, HKV brought up a deal he's seen a lot of the other night on social media. People asking how to get a license and how to upgrade their license, how to study for a license. I could make an entire 30-minute video out of just that, and I'm not sure of the best way to do it, but I've done a little checking this morning. I'm going to give you 2 suggestions on how to study for a ham license. One, QRZ does practice tests. You can look it up on their page. Gives you all kinds of practice tests you can take. They're multiple choice answer tests, and it'll tell you how many, and you can do actual tests for whatever class license you're trying to test for. I urge you to go to the ARRL website, and I don't know if you can see it or not, but I'm going to talk you through it. Let me find my glasses here. On the ARRL website, you got a tab that says Licensing, Education, and Training. And that covers about everything you need to go. Learning Center, question pools, volunteer examiners, everything. Everything you need to do do it right there. I think they've got some online testing now. I haven't really looked into that. I like the old school going to a club and VE test you. So that's something to think about. I'll try to get into this a little more in depth later. I need to do a little more research on it. But if you're interested in becoming a ham, ARRL.org is the best place to start your search. And young people, you're better on computers than I am, so you shouldn't have any problem navigating that. Your question pools are there, practice tests are there, and all the information you could possibly need. You can ARRL sells study guides. If you would rather read a book and get a little more information per question, I highly urge you to do that. It gives you a lot of good information there. But start with ALL.org. If you don't have a local ham club willing to that does testing, by all means, ARRL.org is your best place to start under the tab Licensing and Education. Check QRZ page. They've also got practice tests there. When I took my extra, that's where I practiced my test at until I went and took my extra class tests. Anyway, next video coming up will be talking about different types of HF rigs. Again, anything you see in my videos is just suggestions or the way I do things. I'm not saying it has to be done that way, and I'm certainly not saying that there's not a better way or a more expensive way. So anyway, hope everybody enjoys my stuff. Thanks for all those who subscribe. We've had a big jump in subscriptions this week and hope to keep it going. Maybe one of these days YouTube will have to start paying me to do this. Anyway, everybody have a great week. Starting the first day of the month in November. Watch yourself this next week around home. Be on listening on the radio. And if you hear us on 28,450 at night, well, we're on there about 7:45 Central Standard Time. Be sure and check in. KB5 MIQ, Big Boy, 73.